Welcome back to SFF180. It is Monday morning, February the 1st, 2021, and time once again for the mailbag. Hey, 2 mailbags, 2 Mondays in a row. When was the last time we had that? Hopefully that presages some good things for 2021. Maybe we will start to see some more regularity with these mailbags in the coming year. Hopefully, we're not in the post-COVID world just yet, but hopefully we are in a world where maybe a few things are getting a bit back to normal. We'll see. Fingers crossed on that. But otherwise, I don't really think I have much in the way of announcements, other than Hugo nominations are now open. The nominating period is open. If you registered for this year's Worldcon in DC, theoretically, it's going to be in DC. I think it's probably going to be another virtual convention, to be honest with you. But anyway, if you registered before the end of the year, you get to nominate. And also, if you are a member of the New Zealand Worldcon, the 2020 Worldcon, you are also able to nominate. So get those nominations in. As always, I present SFF180 as eligible in the Fancast category. I'm going to throw up a bunch of cards all throughout this episode, featuring what I think are the best videos that I did for last year, the stuff that I'm proudest of. And there were some good ones, I have to say. There's some I'm really proud of. So check those out if you missed any of those. But otherwise, yeah, let's get into these books, because this mailbag is a chunk. I've got 13, count them, 13 e-arcs, and a healthy stack of physicals as well. So a whole lot to look at this week. So let's not waste any more time, shall we? Now I'm going to start out with this box from the Hachette group, so this is probably going to be some Orbit titles. And they are a couple of new epic fantasies from Orbit, and we're starting out here with Brother Red, which is a new book by Adrian Selby. I believe this one hits the bookstores tomorrow here in the States. But let's see what this one is all about. It says, from one of the most exciting new voices in dark fantasy comes a sweeping story of a soldier on a brutal quest to preserve her kingdom's future. She was their hope, their martyr, their brother. Druna Margoster. Okay, takes me a second sometimes with these fantasy names. Gotta go like, ooh, oh wait, I can do this. Okay. Druna Margoster, a soldier for the powerful merchant guild known as the Post, is defending her trade caravan from a vicious bandit attack when she discovers a dead body hidden in one of her wagons. Born of the elusive Oscuro people, the body is a rare and priceless find, the center of a tragic tale and the key to a larger mystery. As she investigates who the body was meant for, Druna finds herself on a path paved by deceit and corruption, and it will lead her to an evil more powerful than she can possibly imagine. And RT Book Reviews, Romantic Times says, perfect for fans of Joe Abercrombie. So, some good review quotes on the back of this book. But Brother Red by Adrian Selby from Orbit. And then next we have We Ride the Storm from Devin Madsen. And this is the first book in the Reborn Empire series. Devin Madsen actually originally self-published these. And I'm kind of surprised because this one actually came out a few months ago. I thought that I had requested the sequel, which is now out, called We Lie with Death. So I'm going to have to check the original email and see if I made the mistake and then put in the proper request. But otherwise, I'm very happy to have this. I actually have this as an e-arc, but it's nice to have the physical. So anyway, let's have a look. I have a feeling this is, another one of those in kind of the, action-packed grimdark sort of motif. It says, War built the Kissian Empire, war will tear it down. 17 years after rebels stormed the streets, factions defied Kissia. Only the firm hand of the God Emperor holds the empire together. But when a shocking betrayal destroys a tense alliance with neighboring Chiltai, all that has been won comes crashing down. In Kissia, Princess Miko Tasai is a prisoner in her own castle. She dreams of claiming her throne, but the path to power could rip the empire and her family asunder. In Chiltai, or Kiltai, either way, assassin Cassandra Marius is plagued by the voices of the dead. Desperate, she accepts a contract that promises her a cure if she helps an empire fall. And on the border between nations, Captain Ra Itorin, and his warriors are exiles forced to fight in a foreign war or die. As an empire falls, 3 warriors will rise. They will have to ride the storm or drown in its blood. So yeah, sounds pretty grimy and darky to me, but sounds like it could be full of action and tension and suspense and, pretty solid world building as well. But Devin Madsen, We Ride the Storm from Orbit. Okay, and next amongst the physicals is this Amazon package, so might be another Silver Shamrock horror opus. Yeah, and that's pretty much exactly what it is. This is a book by Jennifer Susie, and it's called Clementines Awakening. And it goes something like this. It says, Clementine is ready to live her best life, starting with a new job at O'Hara's Pub. But working as a server isn't easy for a lifelong wallflower. She encounters a sympathetic ally in Rosemary, but there's a problem. Rosemary's a ghost, a former slave trapped for eternity in the pub. The girls form an unlikely friendship. Clementine offers compassion to the lonely ghost who defends her by playing harmless pranks on rude customers and cruel co-workers. Their activities soon attract another spirit, Deadeye Abernathy, the madman who murdered Rosemary 150 years ago. Deadeye joins the fun, turning the pranks into gruesome attacks. Clementine must find a way to stop him before he destroys her friends and the new life she loves. But how can humans survive a battle between 2 ghosts in the most haunted city in America? Okay. I mean, it's one of these where it's all going to depend on the handling of the material, because once you introduce the idea of this ghost was a slave, and then evidently, the other ghost is... was apparently maybe the slave owner or, slave trafficker, and, who killed her originally, and then they're like having some kind of prank off. I don't know. I mean, sounds like it could be borderline, but we'll see. Anyway, Clementine's Awakening by Jennifer Susie is coming out very soon from Silver Shamrock Publishing. I mean, I ain't trying to be all wokeist or anything. It's just like, some subject matter you got to handle a certain way, right? Okay, anyway, now the next few packages have come in from Macmillan. Now this one I'm very happy to have. This is the newest title in the Tor Essentials reprint line. And this is one that I'm very happy to see reprinted, because I think it's a bit of an obscurity, but it's, it's very much a deserving title. This is a book, I think, originally from the early 90s by Terry Windling, and it's called The Woodwife. And really, really lovely fantasy. I'll just tell you how it goes. Here on the back, it says, a modern classic and extraordinary tale of wild desert magic. Leaving behind a glittering life as the wife of a trendy West Coast musician, Maggie Black comes to the southwestern desert to pursue her passion and her dreams. Her mentor, prize-winning poet Davis Cooper, has mysteriously died in the canyons east of Tucson, leaving her his estate and the mystery of his life and death. Maggie is astonished by the power of this harsh but beautiful land, and captivated by the uncommon people who call it home, especially Fox, a man unlike any she has ever known, who understands the desert's special power. As she reads Cooper's letters, and those of his lover Anna Navarra, a gifted painter driven mad by the visions she saw, Maggie comes face to face with the wild ancient spirits of that place, and discovers their dark, long-hidden secrets. Yeah, I read this some years ago and just thought it was spellbinding. And I'm glad that it's back for a new generation of readers, because this is one worthy of rediscovery. But it's The Woodwife by Terry Windling from Tor Essentials. And next up from Tor, we have this new hardcover. It is Into the Light, a collaboration between David Weber and Chris Kennedy. And this is a sequel to a book called Out of the Dark, which came out, I think maybe about 5 or so years ago now. This is kind of a belated sequel. Out of the Dark, an alien invasion story, and so now I guess this is the follow-up from that. So let me see what I can read about it that won't be too spoilery. But it says, the Shangari conquered Earth. Oops, sorry. Okay, well, I guess that was a spoiler. In mere minutes, half the human race died and our cities lay in shattered ruins. But the Shangari didn't expect the survivors' tenacity, and crucially, they didn't know that Earth harbored 2 species of intelligent, tool-using bipeds. One of them was us, the other, long-lived and lethal, was hiding in the mountains of Eastern Europe, the subject of fantasy and legend. When they emerged and made alliance with humankind, the invading aliens didn't stand a chance. Now Earth is once again ours, aided by the advanced tech the aliens left behind. We're rebuilding as fast as we can, and a select few of our immortals are on their way to the Shangari homeworld, having commandeered one of their starships, a planet-busting kind. Okay. and, take some guesses as to what that other intelligent bipedal tool-using species is, right? But Into the Light from David Weber and Chris Kennedy is a new hardcover from Tor. And next up, this one is from Tor.com. It is Burning Girls and Other Stories by Veronica Chenois. And look, it's the first sell sheet of the episode. Thank you so much, Tor.com. These things really do make life easier, I have to say. Anyway, this is out March the 2nd from Tor.com. It says it's the debut short story collection from speculative fiction author Veronica Chenois. Okay, in this collection, Chenois draws on folklore and Eastern European Jewish history to create wonderfully dark feminist subversions of fairy tales. These stories tackle subjects such as mental illness, leftist labor movements, and Jewish oppression throughout history, all with fierce women at their centers. In the title story, Burning Girls, which won the Shirley Jackson Award for Best Short Story in 2013, Chenois draws on Jewish folklore to invest the immigrant narrative with a fearsome fairy tale quality that tells a story about America we may not want but need to hear. This collection is political, it's feminist, it's angry, and it's absolutely mesmerizing. It's perfect for fans of short story writers like Karen Russell, Kelly Link, and Carmen Maria Machado. All right, then. So this is available, as I said, from Tor.com. It'll be in hardcover on March the 2nd. Burning Girls and Other Stories. And the final Macmillan package. And we have the finished copy in hardcover of the new novel by Sylvain Neuvel. This is called A History of What Comes Next. It's out, tomorrow, February the 2nd, from Tor.com. It says it's a speculative thriller that blends a fast-moving, darkly satirical look at 1940s rocketry with an exploration of the amorality of progress and the nature of violence. This is the first of an exciting new trilogy from the author of Sleeping Giants and The Test. The fast-paced A History of What Comes Next is set in both America and Nazi Germany, and stars a cast of both real historical figures and alien protagonists. Hiding in plain sight, the Kibsu are only able to have daughters. It's these women who have been furthering the development of rocket technology behind the scenes since ancient times, waiting for the day when space travel is possible and they can fulfill their destiny and save humanity by taking them to the stars. In this first book of the Take Them to the Stars trilogy, the 99th generation of Kibsu women must battle the bureaucracy and violence of humanity in the middle of World War II, amidst ever-increasing dangers both human and alien. With A History of What Comes Next, Sylvain Neuvel has written a first-contact sci-fi novel, a spy thriller, a meticulously researched work of historical fiction, or alternate history, actually, and an action-packed adventure. It's perfect for fans of authors like Michael Crichton, Blake Crouch, and Andy Weir. Neuvel's writing here is wildly readable and compelling, and it's also darkly satirical. A History of What Comes Next is written through the eyes of the women who make progress possible, and the men who are determined to stop them. Oh no, all right. Okay, so this will be out tomorrow in hardcover from Tor.com Publishing, A History of What Comes Next by Sylvain Neuvel. Okay, so 2 more physical packages here, and this one's awfully dramatic. It has this sticker. I haven't actually seen one like this. It says, Embargo Strictly Enforced. Let's just see what they have in here, shall we? Okay, I could have bet money it was going to be probably something like this. If you have been paying attention to the last several episodes of the Mailbag, you'll know that this is a series that Blackstone Publishing has really been pushing hard, and we're already up to book 3 in it. This is Sons of War 3. No, I'm serious. Like, watch the last couple of mailbags and you'll see Sons of War 2. They're really getting them out fast. But this one, it says, will be available February 16th. The premise of this series is basically that it is a post-Second Civil War America, I guess sometime in the near future. And now the remnants of American civilization have been taken over by these, crime gangs, by like the mob, right? So it's sort of like, the Sopranos and all of that, they've kind of taken America over. Sons of War 3 Sinners continues the gripping Sons of War series set in a gritty post-apocalyptic future where organized crime factions vie to control what's left of America. And it's described as The Sopranos meets Mad Max, basically. The motto of Marine Sergeant Ronaldo Salvatore lives on in his son Dominic and his undercover team known as the Saints, With the support of LAPD Captain Zed Marks, the Saints embark on a mission to destroy the criminal organizations that have a stranglehold on Los Angeles. So this sounds like it's going to have lots of, pew 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 and explosions and things going on. And but that's fine. That's great. I mean, I'm all up for really good action storytelling. But Sons of War 3 continues this series on February the 16th. And here we have the final physical package, and this one is coming in from Random Penguin. And it's from the lovely crew at Angry Robot. Hi, Angry Robot. This is the finished copy of The Moonsteel Crown by Stephen Dees, and this was on my anticipated fantasy list for 2021. Very nice to have. Thank you very much. Goes like this. The Emperor of Aria has been murdered, the Empire is in crisis, and dead men walk the streets. But Mila, Fings, and Seth couldn't care less. They're too busy just trying to survive in the sulk-struck city of Var, committing petty violence and pettier crimes to earn their keep in the Unrulies, a motley gang led by Black Hand. When the Unrulies are commissioned to steal a mysterious item to order by an equally mysterious patron, the trio are thrust right into the bitter heart of a struggle for the crown where every faction is after what they have. Forced to lie low in a city on lockdown, they will have to work together if they want to save their skins and maybe just save the Empire itself. Okay, and this is The Moonsteel Crown. The author is Stephen Dees, and it is coming this month from Angry Robot. Okay, now it is time for the E-Arcs, and like I said, I got a ton of these, I think 13 of them in total. Most of this list I've decided to put down mostly in chronological order of release date. That might not strictly be true. But I've tried to do it for most of them. We're starting out with one I'm very happy to see. This is Engines of Oblivion by Karen Osborne. It is the sequel to Architects of Memory. The Memory War is a duology from Karen Osborne, so now that means it's binge time. Great. But it says Karen Osborne continues her science fiction action adventure series, The Memory War. The corporations running the galaxy are about to learn not everyone can be bought. Natalie Chen gained her corporate citizenship but barely survived the battle for tribulation. Now corporate has big plans for Natalie. Horrible plans. Locked away in Natalie's missing memory is salvation for the last of an alien civilization and the humans they tried to exterminate. The corporation wants total control of both or their deletion. Okay, and so this will be out next Tuesday, February the 9th from Tor Books. And also on February the 9th, this is interesting. This is a YA debut novel called The Gilded Ones. The author is Namina Forna. And this, as I recall, was originally slated to be released in 2020, and I guess it was a COVID pushback. Some publishers, not all publishers, did shuffle their schedules around a little bit in terms of what was coming out, because of COVID, and I guess this is one of those. But it's out now, or it is out next week on the 9th, and it goes like this. 16-year-old Decca lives in fear and anticipation of the blood ceremony that will determine whether she will become a member of her village. Already different from everyone else because of her unnatural intuition, Decca prays for red blood so she can finally feel like she belongs. But on the day of the ceremony, her blood runs gold, the color of impurity, and Decca knows she will face a consequence worse than death. Then a mysterious woman comes to her with a choice: stay in the village and submit to her fate, or leave to fight for the Emperor in an army of girls just like her. They are called Alaki, near immortals with rare gifts, and they're the only ones who can stop the Empire's greatest threat. Well, that sounds like it's a much better deal. Oh, no, you're terrible and horrible, and you have gold blood, but you're the only person who can save the Empire. Well, sounds like you got the better end of the deal, honestly. Knowing the dangers that lie ahead, yet yearning for acceptance, Decca decides to leave the only life she's ever known, but as she journeys to the capital to train for the biggest battle of her life, she will discover that the Great Walled City holds many surprises. Nothing and no one are quite what they seem to be, not even Decca herself. It actually sounds like this has fantastic world building in it, I understand. This is another fantasy inspired by kind of West African mythology and culture and that sort of thing. So yeah, it looks really, really good. But it'll be out next Tuesday the 9th, The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna. Okay, and we're following that up. On March the 9th, we have one coming in from Angry Robot. This is another one from my anticipated list. It's The Second Bell by Gabriella Houston. To the world, it says you are an abomination, a monster with unholy abilities. You're shunned and left to fend for yourself. Your only chance of survival is to tap into that dark potential Would you do it? In an isolated mountain community, sometimes a child is born with two hearts. Such a child, a striga, is considered a dangerous demon, which must be abandoned on the edge of the forest to protect the community. The only choice this child's mother can have is whether to leave her home with her infant or stay behind and try to forget. Myriat made her choice. She and her 19-year-old striga daughter, Salka, now live a life of deprivation and hardship in a remote village, where to follow the impulses of the other heart is forbidden. But Salka is headstrong and young, and when threatened with losing everything, she is forced to explore the depths of her true nature, testing the bonds between mother and child. And that is The Second Bell by Gabriella Houston. It looks like it's aiming for fans of, Catherine Arden, Naomi Novik, writers like that. Okay. All right, next, we have a book here that is a small press title. This is one where the author got in touch with me. A fellow named Richie Billing, and this is his debut novel. It's going to be out on March the 17th, and it's called Pariah's Lament. And it goes like this. When an attempt is made on the life of Ashara, keeper of Ur, his young, hapless advisor Edvar must uncover and stop those behind it. With enemies in the capital city and the belligerent Tesh, keeper of neighboring kingdom Karabar, stirring trouble in the borderlands, can Edvar hold together Ashara's brittle reign? The troubles ripple throughout Ur, affecting an ancient race of people known as the Amast, who in their time of utmost need turned to pariah Isi for salvation. Rejected by society, kith and kin, can Isi guide the Amast to safety during the greatest turmoil Ur has known since the War of the Damned? Oh, well, can they? We'll find out on March the 17th. The book is called Pariah's Lament, and thanks very much, Richie, for getting in touch with me about this, and best of luck to you on the book. Indeed. So, now moving up to April the 13th, not 14th. This is a horror novel. I'm looking forward to this one in a big way. New book by Christina Henry. It's called Near the Bone. And this is how it's described. It says, a woman trapped on a mountain attempts to survive more than one kind of monster in a dread-inducing horror novel from the national best-selling author Christina Henry. Maddie can't remember a time before she and William lived alone on a mountain together. She must never make him upset. But when Maddie discovers the mutilated body of a fox in the woods, she realizes that they're not alone after all. There's something in the woods that wasn't there before, something that makes strange cries in the night, something with sharp teeth and claws. When three strangers appear on the mountaintop looking for the creature in the woods, Maddie knows their presence will anger William. Terrible things happen when William is angry. That sounds very unsettling, because it sounds like it's like basically two themes are going on here. You've got whatever the hell this monster is, right? Werewolf, who knows, something. And then it sounds like it's also this kind of dark tale about, domestic abuse. So not for the faint of heart, it sounds like this one. But Christina Henry, if you've got the stomach for good horror storytelling and dark fantasy, she usually delivers the goods. Near the Bone will be out on April the 13th. From Berkeley, I believe. Okay, now we're moving ahead into May, and this is something of a change of pace, a change of tone. This actually sounds like it's going to be pretty awesome. It's a book called The Album of Dr. Moreau, and the author is Darrell Gregory. This comes out May the 18th from Tor.com Publishing. Now, Darrell Gregory is a guy who has published his fair share of horror, but this sounds more like it's in a bit of a lighter vein. It goes like this. It says, Darrell Gregory's The Album of Dr. Moreau combines the science fiction premise of the famous novel by H.G. Wells with the panache of a classic murder mystery and the spectacle of a beloved boy band. It's 2001, and the Wild Boys are the world's hottest boy band, and definitely the world's only genetically engineered human-animal hybrid vocal group. When their producer, Dr. M, is found murdered in his hotel room, the boys become the prime suspects. Uh-oh. Was it Bobby the Ocelot, the cute one? Matt the Megabat, the funny one? Tim the Pangolin, the shy one? Devin the Bonobo, the romantic one? Oh my fucking God. I'm sorry. That's when I got to Devin the Bonobo, I lost it. Okay, I'm sorry. Or Tusk the elephant, the smart one. All right. Las Vegas detective Luz Delgado has only 24 hours to solve a case that goes all the way back to the secret science barge where the Wild Boys' journey first began, a place they used to call home. Yeah, this sounds just hysterically hilarious. And yes, I'm very happy to have it. The Album of Dr. Moreau by Darrell Gregory on May the 18th. Okay. All right. Back to something a little bit more normal. Back to fantasy. This is one that came really close to getting on my anticipated list, and the more I see the buzz for it, I think it looks really good. Maybe it belonged there, but I have it now, and I'm very eager to check it out. It's called The Black Tongue Thief by Christopher Buehlman. It's out May the 25th from Tor Books. And it says, set in a world of goblin wars, stag-sized battle ravens, and assassins who kill with deadly tattoos, Christopher Buehlman's The Black Tongue Thief begins a dazzling fantasy adventure unlike any other. Kinch Nashanik owns the Takers Guild, a small fortune for his education as a thief, which includes but is not limited to lock-picking, knife-fighting, wall-scaling, fall-breaking, lie-weaving, trap-making, plus a few small magics. His debt has driven him to lie in wait by the Old Forest Road, planning to rob the next traveler that crosses his path. But today, Kinch Nashanik has picked the wrong mark. Galva is a knight, a survivor of the brutal Goblin Wars, and a handmaiden of the Goddess of Death. She is searching for her queen, missing since a distant northern city fell to giants. Unsuccessful in his robbery and lucky to escape with his life, Kinch now finds his fate entangled with Galva's. Common enemies and uncommon dangers force thief and knight on an epic journey where goblins hunger for human flesh, krakens hunt in dark waters, and honor is a luxury few can afford. That sounds exciting. The Black Tongue Thief, available from Tor Books on May the 25th. It's warm in this studio tonight. Anyway, okay. Now, moving on to some books coming out. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to do these first because I had to split the list here into two. So I have a few more for May, and then we're going to move on to some as late as the summer. But these are all in from Orbit and Red Hook. So these are Hachette books coming out. And these look pretty exciting indeed. The first comes out May the 4th from Orbit, and it's The Shadow of the Gods, a new book by John Gwynne. And phenomenal cover there. It says, from acclaimed fantasy author John Gwynne comes the first in the Bloodsworn trilogy, an epic of wild lands and wilder magic where not all monsters fight with tooth and claw, and the treasures of the gods come at a price. This is the age of storm and murder. After the old gods warred and drove themselves to extinction, the cataclysm of their fall shattered the land of Vigrio. Now pattern-hungry jarls carve out petty kingdoms, and monsters stalk the shadow-hunted woods and mountains. A world where the bones of the dead gods still hold great power, promising fame and fortune for those brave or desperate enough to seek them out. As whispers of war echo over the plains and across the fjords, fate follows the footsteps of three people. A huntress searching for her missing son, a jarl's daughter who has rejected privilege in pursuit of battle fame, and a thrall who has cast off his chains and now fights alongside the famed mercenaries known as the Bloodsworn. All three will shape the fate of the world as it once more teeters on the edge of chaos. Okay, I can tell John Gwynne is a big Elder Scrolls fan. That's cool. I'm digging it. But Shadow of the Gods, if you like big, large-scale epic fantasy, and John Gwynne is a fan-favorite author who trades in that kind of thing, then this will be available on May the 4th from Orbit Books. All right, and next up from Orbit, coming out May the 11th, is a book that I and a lot of folks have been very enthusiastically looking forward to. This is Son of the Storm by Suyi Davies Okungboa, author of David Mogo Godhunter. It says, from one of the most exciting new storytellers in epic fantasy, the first book in the Nameless Republic trilogy is a sweeping tale of violent conquest and forbidden magic, set in a world inspired by the pre-colonial empires of West Africa. And the thriving city of Bassa, Danso is a clever but disillusioned soldier who longs for a life beyond the rigid family and political obligations expected of the city's elite. A way out presents itself when Lilong, a skin-changing warrior, shows up wounded in his barn. She comes from the Nameless Islands, which, according to Bassa lore, don't exist. And neither should the mythical magic of Ybor she wields. Now swept into a conspiracy far beyond his understanding, Danso and Lilong will set out on a journey that reveals history is violently suppressed and magic only found in lore. And that is happening on May the 11th, Son of the Storm by Suyi Davies Okongboa. Okay, and the final May title. May's a busy month, you guys. Lots coming out that looks awesome. This is one from Red Hook imprint, and it is called Ladies of the Secret Circus. It's by Constance Sayers, the author of A Witch in Time. And this is described as a magical story spanning from Jazz-age Paris to modern-day America, of family secrets, sacrifice, and lost love set against the backdrop of a mysterious circus. Paris, 1925. To enter the secret circus is to enter a world of wonder, a world where women weave illusions of magnificent beasts, carousels take you back in time, and trapeze artists float across the sky. Bound to her family's circus, it's the only world Cecile Cabot knows until she meets a charismatic young painter and embarks on a passionate affair that could cost her everything. Virginia, 2004. Laura Barnes is on top of the world until her fiancé disappears on their wedding day. When her desperate search for answers unexpectedly leads her to great-grandmother's journals, Lara is swept into a story of a dark circus and ill-fated love. Okay, so I guess Cecile maybe is Lara's great-grandmother? I don't know. We'll find out. Okay. Soon, secrets about Lara's family history begin to come to light, revealing a curse that has been claiming payment from the women in her family for generations. A curse that might be tied to her fiancé's mysterious disappearance. Okay, so all kinds of mysterious elements coming in to play in this story. All right. Ladies of the Secret Circus by Constance Sayers is available May the 23rd. All right, and now we're going to do these final two e-arcs. Both of these are July releases, so we're looking well ahead. But, at least you can be ready with your Goodreads if they are of interest to you. The first of these looks to be another indie fantasy epic. It's a book called When Darkness Descends. The author is G.W. Luke, okay, and it's available on July 10th. And it says, 5-year-old Tom Anderson cowered in fear while a mysterious stranger murdered his beloved grandmother, Jean, then disappeared. Now, a young man crippled by guilt and anxiety, Tom's offered a chance for redemption, but it means leaving Earth behind. Dark magic transports him to the shadowy land of Enthelin, where he begins the hunt for his grandmother's killer. However, unbeknownst to Tom, his arrival in Enthelin has been engineered by Malphus, a cruel exiled ruler who needs to capture Tom to bring forth an endless tyranny. I imagine what Tom has to do with an endless tyranny will be explained in the story. Anyway, it says Tom is befriended by a giant stone grell named Grin. They travel through treacherous lands seeking justice for Jean, but become entangled in the ongoing battle for control of Enthelin. Okay, set in a complex world of unique lands and creatures, When Darkness Descends blends mystery and adventure in a fast-paced epic fantasy. And as I said, it will be available on July the 10th. And finally, the last of the e-arcs, this will be out July 27th, and it is Hold Fast Through the Fire by KB Wagers. This is the sequel to A Pale Light in the Dark, which came out last year. These are space operas that are inspired by, I think, the actual Coast Guard. It says the Near-Earth Orbital Guard, NEO-G, inspired by the real-life mission of the Coast Guard. Patrols and protects the solar system. Now the crew of Zuma's Ghost must contend with personnel changes, and a powerful cabal hell-bent on dominating the trade lanes in this fast-paced, action-packed follow-up to A Pale Light in the Black. And I guess I don't really want to give too many more, plot details away to avoid spoilers, but that will be available from Harper Voyager on July the 27th. Whew! Okay. Lot of books this week. You guys know the drill. Hit those comments, light them up. Let me know which of these looks most interesting and exciting to you, and which you would like to see me prioritize for reviews. Speaking of reviews, remember you got one this morning, early Monday morning, didn't you? More coming. All right. So be ready for that. Anyway, if you enjoyed, please hit the like button, share the video far and wide with all of your SFF reading friends, and above all, please subscribe if you have not done so. That is how the channel grows. I believe we are around 75 or fewer away from 9,000, so let's hit it. Shall we? You can also support the channel at my TeePublic store and at my Patreon, where recruits in the Winx Army get little perks like getting early access to some of my videos. I want to thank all of those lovely people for their additional support. I use my Patreon money to pay my channel artist, Matt Olson, for all of the lovely and unique thumbnail title cards that he draws for me. I'm very blessed to have him. He's a great guy and a fantastic artist. So I want to thank all of those people, and I want to thank the rest of you for being the very best viewers on all of BookTube. And until I see you next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy reading.